Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to another session with me, Rylee June, intuition master coach and spiritual activator. Today, we're going to be talking about the spiritual warfare that's going on in the world. I am going to be diving into what it's teaching us as a light leader, what you can be doing in this space, and equally what you should really be sitting with and reflecting on as you're teaching from this space and leading in others into their own activation. But just some really beautiful downloads that came through over this weekend. I did a digital detox, and oh my goodness, you guys, you don't realize how unproductive you are until you set the boundary with yourself to stop playing with your phone for a bit. So I had a bunch of takeaways from this weekend that I'm going to be sharing with you as well. And I want to talk to you about my latest program that's starting August 10th, The Magnetic Woman, for light leaders who are really ready to step up into their magnetism and lead from a space of pure conscious connection. So first and foremost, I want to thank the sponsors of this episode, and that is Golden Code, my favorite jewelry company. Today, I'm not wearing one of their pieces, but typically I have this beautiful one paired with this piece that I'm wearing today, but I am holding so much light in my body right now that I wanted to keep myself as neutral as possible. So I'm just wearing one clear quartz crystal on me instead of two. Golden Code is infused with high vibrational energy. The beautiful founder, Lindsay Rose, she channels light language into each and every piece that you receive from her. And I have come to find that even by holding the package before I even opened it and put on the products, I am already feeling so elevated and uplifted. I use her products for channeling. I use it for grounding. I use them for just staying in my magnetism. And I highly recommend that you go and snag yourself a piece as well. So you can use the code AFF15 to save yourself 15% off on your order with my code. And of course, all the things are going to be linked below, so you can go and check them out. All right, let's ground into today's message because it's a big one. So last week, I did a dark to light series. I went through this really big revelation last week that shook my entire world. I had this moment where I was like, I don't know if I can teach. What do I do with this? What do I do with all the work that I've put in this world? And when we receive new information, it is so important. And I found myself in this. So important to really make sure that you're grounding into your truths, taking whatever it is that you have taken in and sitting with and discerning and deciding what it means to you. So I went through this download at the beginning of January that said that my mission in this next stage of my life is all about setting a standard. It's about setting a standard in the energy industry. I have been watching and witnessing a multitude of people go through really horrible experiences. And in an individual experience of watching people get led into things like sex cults and working with cult leaders and working with people who are actually channeling and integrating demons in their energy, you see a lot. You see a lot as a spiritual activator. This work is not for the meek, right? But there's something so beautiful and profound about opening up your consciousness and expanding when done and held in a container of pure conscious connection. So this is where I'm going to talk about moving forward after I share about the spiritual warfare in the world and what it's teaching us, what you can do with your own energetic connections. This is equally a resource for you as well. So tune in, take notes. There's going to be a lot of things that come through. I'm going to try not to speak too fast because when I really get into channels, I start to speak a little more quickly, but I want to try and be as concise and clear for you today so you can really take away some of the things that are happening under the surface in the conscious collective field, as well as the global ascension experience. So I had this big download about setting a standard, and I had no idea what that looked like. I started my journey 4 years ago, deciding and realizing that I could connect. I couldn't believe other people couldn't or didn't know that they couldn't, and wanting everybody to know, hey, look it, you can do this for you. There's this stigma around psychics where they create this kind of manipulative experience where you need me to know things about your future. And I've never agreed with that. And I've never led with that. And I will never lead with that. And will continue to set a standard against that, because every single psychic is only sharing what you're connecting with within you, what's happening in your own energy field. So it's a disservice to offer a reading and not offer tools or not understand how to offer tools to your clients to teach them that they can do this work for themselves. They shouldn't need to be coming to you every week or 3 months or 6 months or a year to check in, especially because They're just moving through their own experience. Now, as a coach, this is different because as a coach, you're holding a higher standard. And as a psychic, you're creating a reliancy. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't be a psychic and share messages and deliver readings, but create PDFs, create meditations, create different things that you can be sending out with those readings, or send out your readings to your clients so that they have an opportunity to take what you've shared with them, which is powerful and connective and profound and incredible, but to be able to equally do their work for themselves. Psychics are meant to empower people. We're meant to show people that they have this ability to move forward in their life in incredible, profound, and connective ways. But when you take away the empowerment, you create reliancy. And that's where I don't agree with that. And that's equally what I'm here to set a standard within. So that was something that came through for me. And what I started to go down the spiral of thinking about is, well, what does connecting with a clean energy look like? And what does creating a standard and connecting with a, pure conscious connection look like? And what I started to realize as I was looking over the connections that my clients were having, the experiences that friends were having, that other people in the industry were having with their clients and themselves, is that there is this disempowerment that is taught in this space. And that is spirit guides. And I couldn't figure out and understand why I would have some clients that were having the most incredible connective experiences with spirit guides and why others were not. And what I started to realize is that the common thread foundation beneath all of those connections were those who followed God and those who were in the space of, I don't know what that means to me, or universe or source or higher power or something other than connecting with just God. Now, this isn't here to be like a religious thing. I'm going to start quoting Bible scriptures because I don't read the Bible. There is a powerful, powerful, powerful foundational energy in which you will operate from in every experience that you have in your life. And it is one of love and it is one of fear. And so when it comes to energy connections, like, what would they be called? Images, beings, right? We have the love, which is mercy and just, because love is an energy outside of this world. Love can surpass time and space and quantum connections. It is all of it. It is the creation. It is the destruction. It is the rising. It is the struggle. It is everything. Love is infused in everything. Love is the creation of God. Now, God is equally merciful and just. God is here to uphold you to a higher standard because he loves you so much so that he wants you to see yourself. He wants to see you lift yourself out of your struggles, out of your challenges, hold yourself accountable, hold yourself to a higher standard of meaning and knowing. That is what the energy of God represents to me and what I feel like it means collectively. And then there's the energy of fear. This is the energy of manipulation, of control, of the devil. And if we are light workers and healers and leaders, and we are not acknowledging that these two very foundational paradigms exist, if you are denouncing that the darkness exists, if you are denouncing that the devil does not work within this conscious space, then you are falsely representing the work that you are doing, and you are leading people into destructive experiences. And I say this because I've witnessed it, because I've experienced it, and because I have come to this understanding that those who are operating from a pure connection of God, I'm not saying Bible and religion, I'm saying just your relationship with God, are having the most profound enlightened experiences. Don't believe me. Please don't believe me. Go out and research the people who are making huge impacts in this world. They are all following a relationship with God. And there's not just a one-off experience where someone's not doing that, because the ones who are the celebrities working from the space of manipulation and fear, watch their stage performances, look at the symbols behind what they are doing. They're not operating from God, pure source, conscious connection. They're operating of God, meaning the devil. And they won't use the word Jesus, and they won't represent anything to do with Jesus. And Jesus is just the incarnation of the human version of God, right? But there's all these stigmas. There's all these stigmas attached to these things. Well, I'm not Christian. I'm not religious. I don't want anything to do with God. Or you grew up in a space where there was a fear implementation surrounding Christianity or the word God. And then there's those who are just denouncing that the devil doesn't exist and that, darkness is this thing. And it's like, yes, absolutely. But these paradigms exist, these energies exist. And if not these, then what is the foundation of our reality built on? It's built on love and fear. Your choices in your life are built on love and fear. Your connection in your life is built on love and fear, and so on and so forth, God or the devil. And so this led me to really looking at then, the industry in a whole, right? And so to go back to the spirit guide thing, is that I was finding that those who were connected with God, a relationship with God, whatever that meant to them, but connected with God, couldn't connect with spirit guides. Their images weren't coming through, though they were very clairvoyant. The feelings weren't coming through, though they were very clairsentient or clairempathic. And they were finding that it was perpetuating this self-doubt. I can't connect, I'm doing something wrong. And then they'd go to apply, their intuitive connections that they were moving through, to making decisions in their life. And then they were going to their spirit guides to consult, though they were having a hard time connecting, but that was the place where they were going to consult. And it was leading them into these decisions that they didn't in their body feel aligned to. And then there was those who weren't connected to any form of relationship with God. And they were having the greatest connection, and their spirit guides were leading them in these profound ways. But I was finding that as watching their journeys unfold, that it was leading them to these darker states of being. And when I really started to realize this, it all just clicked in. It all just clicked in about the foundation of our energy and our connection, which is where I teach from, which is where I connect from, which is where I lead you from, which is where I guide you from. And I had this moment where I was like, oh my gosh, I've been misrepresenting foundational energy connections. I've been creating essentially a disservice by not just speaking this truth that I knew within me, that I was doing within me, because I didn't want to hurt someone's feelings, or I didn't want to challenge someone's belief systems, though that's literally what I do, is challenge someone's belief systems. So when it came to the connection between God and the devil, I was sitting with, how can I make this better? How can I work from a clear, conscious, pure, connective space? And for me, I've worked over the last year and a half. I've only really come into this connection over the last year and a half with my connection with God and Jesus. And again, this isn't a religious thing. This is just a relationship thing. And so in looking at the work that I've put out into this world, I realized that there are some really powerful tweaks that I can make. And when it comes to setting a standard in this industry, that there are some really beautiful ways that we as light leaders need to acknowledge and need to be willing to help our clients find their relationship within this experience. You're not pushing them, you're not forcing them, you're helping them find their experience with discernment in a pure conscious state of connection. Because if you haven't noticed, there's a spiritual warfare going on in this world, and ignorance is bliss, but it is not an answer, and it is not going to lead you to a pure conscious state of being if you're denouncing and dismissing the fact that darkness exists in our world. It always will, right? It's in our food systems, it's in our water, it's in our teachings, it's in our schools, it's in our education, it's in everything. But so is light. So where do you want to be operating from? Because those connected to a pure conscious connection with God are not denouncing that the darkness doesn't exist. They're not denouncing that struggles don't exist. They're not denouncing that challenges don't exist. They're not denouncing that there is corruption in the world. And in the spiritual warfare, it's not seen with guns and bombs like it has in the past. It's information and energy. Your energy is the currency of this world. It is the currency of this world, and your life, death, is the wage of your soul. And what's so incredibly freeing about speaking this out loud, about knowing this, about seeing this, about feeling this, is that you are empowered with yourself. You realize that you don't need spirit guides to tell you whether you should get a shot or not, because if they're telling you you should, they're working within dark energies. That's not a spirit guide that is empowering you to trust in your own intuitive connection, because every single person, unless under a spell or a condition, is going to look at this shot, knowing or not knowing any of the information that is put out in this world, and know that their body wants them to not be anywhere near this. And that's not a biased opinion. That's a perspective from someone who's gone down the holes of learning as much as I could possibly learn about what is out about this in the world right now. It is about seeing the energetic imprint, seeing it for what it is, looking into the ingredients, the luciferase ingredients. It is about just feeling into my connection with God. God would not need you to manipulate your DNA, your molecules, your cellular structure to be a better human, to help your community. God wants you to be connected within yourself, to check in with yourself, to be accountable to yourself, to understand your decisions, to work and to heal and to educate yourself in all multitudes of ways, to be a better human. Because when you are a better human, when you are doing the inner work, when you are healing yourself, your life will reflect and be a ripple effect of that very change and love and healing that you are creating within you. So light leaders and healers, I'm going to challenge you, this is going to provoke you to sit with, where are you connecting from? Because this world needs God conscious, pure soul connection. Because if not, you are working with the devil spirit, the devil energy entities. And that's not going to lead your clients into the transformational experiences that you genuinely want to lead them into, that you're guiding them through, that you have found help and healing within your own journey. And now you are being called to step up. We are watching celebrities in this world turn to Jesus. Why? Because we've also watched the celebrity industry, the Hollywood industry, be exposed for the demonic and ritualistic experiences that are going on behind the scenes that are now coming to light. So why are you seeing some turn to Jesus and why some are denouncing them, right? Energy workers. Work within God consciousness. I'm going to promise you, I am going to give my promise to you that your energy will feel cleaner. It will feel more concise. It will feel more connected. You will not be riddled with judgment because you are willing to self-reflect and connect and go within and educate yourself when challenged with your perspective. You will feel so much cleaner when holding space for your clients. Your energy, the container that you hold with them via group, via one-on-one, via a reading, channeling from Jesus is going to be so much more clearer for you than trying to work with their guides. Because then when you feel that resistance, maybe they're going through something, their walls are up. When you feel that resistance, working with Jesus, you know that that's not your resistance. You know that's not you not being able to connect with their energy. You know that that is their own resistance. So you're going to speak to that. You're going to work through that. You're going to help them heal with that. Whereas working with their guides, you're going to feel disempowered because you're not even working with their energy. You're working with something outside of their energy. And you're going to try and figure out and navigate from that space of what it's trying to tell you. No, channel through Jesus and work with their being. And you're going to know everything you need to know. We are here to raise the world's collective consciousness. If you are a psychic, a healer, a reader, a intuitive trainer, coach, whatever, you are activating souls in this world. Your responsibility then lies with the very foundation of the connection in which you are operating from. It's so obvious and so seemingly true, but for some reason, somehow we've all been deceived. I realized this about a week or two ago, and I realized where I had been deceived. But here's the thing, we teach from what we know. And that's why self-accountability and checking in and constantly doing your own inner work is only going to lead you to a more profound and incredible activation within your own soul's truth. We're out here giving credit to all these guides and to all these teachers. When you learn intuition, what you're learning is how to communicate with your soul. And when you learn how to communicate with your soul, well, the very essence of your soul is designed by our creator, by God. So why not give praise and acknowledgement and connection to the very being energy that connected your soul and communicate with your intuition from that space? Take a big deep breath in with me. That was a lot. Let's take it in and let's let it out. You came here a creator. You came here a imperfectly perfect design. You came here knowing all you need to know and everything in your reality, the people you learn from, the things that you watch, the people you interact with, the environments in which you learn and you create and you grow within. They're all just mirrors that are reflecting experiences within your soul. Your intuition communicates through discernment with your creator, the designer of your soul, of what was designed within you. We are here activated and accessing so many different codes, and then the things we fuel our body with, our mind with, our energy with, is going to activate different codes within our body, creating an even greater cellular experience that is the magnetism of what puts out into this world. I couldn't figure out why so many psychics were so disempowered by charging prices and making new offers and not figuring out where they were going or what they were doing wrong. I couldn't figure this out. I was in my industry, labeling myself as a psychic medium. I was coming up with other people who were stepping into being a psychic and a medium. And I couldn't figure out why some of us were like, yeah, I'm owning this price. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to create this product. I'm going to learn and grow and expand. And others were just so perpetuated by nobody's buying. And what about this price? And same goes with my intuitive coaches. I don't know how I can charge more. And I don't know. And this lack of worthiness. And I'm like, what's going on here? So I'm sitting with God and I'm sitting in my connection and I'm owning my prices. And I'm like, yeah, like this feels aligned. This feels empowering, incredible. I'm excited about this. I'm releasing now. I'm hitting a nerve. Someone in the future is going to listen to this, watch this, and I'm going to hit a nerve. This is good. This is provoking. This is where you're going to use your intuition and your discernment and your connection with God to see where this checks in with you, right? Why are we so disempowered around charging for our work, right? There comes this judgment that how can you work with God and teach with God and teach through God and teach people about God and charge for it? Well, because we're human beings and God created free will and God is free, right? I can teach you through my knowings, teachings, trainings, and education, and that's worthy of a charge. You can go out in the forest or in your living room or in your bedroom and you can pray and connect with God. That's free, right? That's free. You can develop your intuition from that space. How willing are you to tune into that, right? And you will know what you will know, what you will know from what you know. So as you do your self work and you check in with yourself and you activate new levels of education and intuition, you're going to learn things, and that's worthy of a charge. So my psychics and my mediums, if you're not feeling worthy of the things that you are charging, and my intuition coaches, right? My activators, if you're not feeling worthy of what you charge, you're not connecting with God, because God would not judge you for what you are charging. So why are you judging yourself? Whose energy are you connecting into where you don't feel worthy of a charge? Right? There's this really powerful question that starts to become provoked when you start to ask yourself, who am I connecting with? Where am I connecting from? Where am I leading and teaching and guiding from? And this was all from me having a download in January about setting a standard in the industry that led me through this self quest and journey of equally doing my own work and educating myself. Because we need to be doing that. The currency in this world is energy. I say that neutrally because we as humans will place the positive or negative connotations to that expression. The currency of this world is energy. The wage of your life is your soul. Where is your soul? Where are you paying your soul's debt to at the end of your life? Because on the foundation of everything is love and fear, God and the devil, right? So where do you want to work within? Where do you want to operate within? Well, probably the obvious connection is going to be with God. And remember, this is a relationship, not a religion. And if you are feeling disconnected from that word, why? Because you should be able to say the word God and the devil neutrally if you understand that they both exist as a powerful force of chaos and creation, God of creation, devil of the chaos, right? I can say these words neutrally. And so if you're feeling provoked by the words that I'm saying, there's a response within you that is happening with your body. Your intuition is being activated to a level now. Discernment and communication with your soul and your creator is going to help you sort that out. When I started talking about this, I was like, oh, I don't like using the word devil. But who am I trying to appease? Because I'm connected with God. I know it exists. I don't need to worry about it because I have my tools and I teach from the space and I can discern when I'm being swayed. And that's what I'm here to teach you. That's what I'm here to provoke within you. For my light leaders, for my teachers, for my healers, for my activators, for my coaches. This is the space that is going to give you the most profound and clear conscious connection for your work, for your teachings, for your methods, for your expansion, for your business, for the students that you hold space for. This is your magnetism. This is your magnetism. You're either going to magnetize creation from God or chaos from the devil. Where do you want to be connected with? Because the spiritual warfare that is being waged on our energy and our souls is captivating people, and not in a category of a shot or a virus or a food or this or that or this or that. Your soul's going to awaken the mission within you. And it might be to be an advocate for this, or an advocate for this, or an educator for this, or a teacher for this. But in connection with God, it will be clear. And the judgments of those who say that's wrong or that's right or that's this or that's that, I am putting this out in the world, all the while knowing that I am going to have people that don't agree with me, that don't align with me, that will judge what I say. And I am here for all of it because I know what my truth is, and I know where I lead people and teach people from. And it's not to lead them into me, it's to lead them into themselves. And if you're a psychic and you're leading them to constantly needing to rely on you, I invite you to check into your energy, because you should not be the reliancy of your client's experience. You are a channel, a conduit to help them experience and transform into their own very essence and being. And when we create standards in spaces where there are not standards created, you must do so from a pure conscious channel connection. Do you want the things in your life you desire, the wealth and the abundance and the relationships and the connection and the love and the empowerment and all these things? Probably. And there's no wrong or right to what you can and cannot manifest in your life. But where are you connecting from? Because one will breed chaos, and you'll see it in the reflection of the very experience your clients are having, as well as in your own life and experience you are having. And one will breed creation, where it is uplifting. When you are operating in your soul's mission, whether it be in the very first minuscule grain of sand space of that activation, or from the depths of the middle or the end of that creation, you will feel empowered and enlightened, because you will see the lies in the world, and you will no longer fear them. You will no longer be swayed by them. Right? And this is where, as light leaders, we get to teach from. You get to teach from this place. You get to create from this space. You get to channel from this space. You get to love from this space. You get to help be the mothering energy of this world, or the fathering energy of this world, or the blend of both, as we all find our divine feminine and masculine in creation experience, and lift souls into their very truth. That is what you came here to do. And we will all infiltrate different industries to help light the way. Don't give up. Do the work. Connect with God, and the answers will be so and true. Truly, truly, the answers are always within you. And I love you so much that I am willing to put my work and my name and my perspective in the world to welcome the judgment, because I know that if this touches one person's life and activates one person's soul, then I am doing my work. And I can see where the devil exists. And I'm not afraid of it, because I know that love will conquer it. And I will teach you to love yourself and your work and your mission and your life so much so through God that you will be able to call it for what it is and move beyond it for yourself. It's a distraction. And we can use powerful things like social media that can be used as a distraction to work with our soul mission and purpose through God, and share and spread light like roots from a tree, grounding and earthing into these electronical spaces and containers, and just magnetize the world. I want to share an experience. One of my clients, and this is what I mean by working with your spirit guides, this person feels more empowered to an energy being outside of themselves than them. One of my students. So this is where I do my own internal reflection and look at what I'm putting out into the world. This is why I will no longer be teaching about spirit guides, just you and your connection to your higher self, your intuition, and God, right? This isn't going to be biblical things. Bibles are made of man, which is defaulted to fault. I'm not saying there's not truth to it, but I know where I can get all my connections and parables and meanings and messages and metaphors. And it's from this relationship right here. Okay, so one of my students, she was feeling very disempowered. She wanted to, well, she wasn't feeling disempowered. She was feeling very activated. She wanted to explore her feminine energy, awaken more of that embodiment, and step into this next level of her intuition connection. And it led her to a retreat where it was going to be this pleasureful sexual experience of activation. And in all of the taglines, it says that the light and the dark are the same. And it says that you're going to birth your light from the darkness and the shadows, and there's shadow work and there's all this darkness. And she's like, I'm going to go to this retreat. And she put down her deposit, and then she had this feeling like something was off. So she messaged me. We're now friends. We're really, really good friends. She's like, what do you think about this? And I just read the title. I didn't even click the link. And I was like, nope, sex cult. Don't go anywhere near that. And then I clicked the link, and then I read through the page and I see all these things. And I'm like, girl, I want you to check in with yourself and ask yourself where there's hesitation, or where you're really lit up with like just excitement. And she's like, I have a lot of hesitation. That's why I came to you. I was like, good. Your intuition is working through you. She's like, well, I asked my guides for signs to show me the way. And I'm not like dumping on her experience right now. I'm using this as a experience to share with you of how, when we try to use a guide and energy outside of us to empower our own decision making, will disempower the very intuitive feeling that we have within us that's saying, hey, look it, this is probably not for you. And you don't need to know all the things. You just need to learn to trust your intuition, and it's going to be so much clearer from this space. And so in having this conversation, she's like, okay, yeah, I see it. I'm like, sit with it though. Like, don't just take what I'm saying for face value, sit with it, feel through it. So she went and she did her own digging, and leaders from this retreat have been arrested for sex trafficking. So it's like, it's all there in the energy. We just have to be willing to trust in our own sacred connection, so much so with God, to tell us, okay, intuition, communicating with my soul and my creation. No, gut feeling is telling me it's off. That's why we have these gut instincts. You don't have to be an intuition master, or be through years of your development to know that we all have gut instincts that will tell us and share with us what we need to know, where we need to go. So my light leaders, I empower you, I implore you to really look through the work in which you are teaching, because this is changing and activating people's lives into a ripple effect that once no longer working with you, you will have no control over the experience. So make sure you're coming from a place of a pure conscious connection. And equally, those of you who are going to spiritual teachers, ask the questions, dig into their history, do your research. Because if not from a pure God conscious connection, where are they operating from? And that's not going to want to be a place where you're teaching from, right? As a healer, teach from what you have healed. Teach from what you know to be true. Teach from God. And it will be the cleanest, clearest, connective experience that you will ever have in your life. I promise you. I promise you. And it has changed and revolutionized the way in which I've held containers now, and will continue to moving forward, the impact and the experiences that my clients are having for themselves. And even over just this 2 weeks of really rooting and grounding into these revelations and these self-connections for me, it was easy to have difficult conversations with clients saying, hey, look, this is what we're going to be doing moving forward. It was easy to say, look, if you need a refund, let's get that for you. But this is what I'm doing moving forward. It was easy to look at courses that I've created and go through them and vet them and take out one thing, the spirit guide training, because everything else was led from a place of God. It's easy. It really is. Struggles and challenges and revelations and breakthroughs. I'm so glad that I'm having this breakthrough in year 4 versus year 10. And if you're just coming up as a teacher in this industry, I really, really, really invite you to look into where you're connecting from and teaching from. Because if doing this from a very early on stage your life and business is made and expanded. Doing this 10 years in, 4 years in, could cause a lot of inner turmoil like it did for me. But you know what? It led me to this realization that everything works out as it is and it's all going to be what it needs to be. And I trust so much so in the creator of my soul that it is all going to work out. And everyone was on board. And it opened up some really powerful communication and connective experiences about their questions, about why they had their own disbelief or things that they were feeling. And it's like, perfect, perfect. We're all on the same page. We're moving forward in an incredible way. So lean from that space, because the spiritual warfare in this world is vast, it is grand, it is big, but that does not mean that you have to be swayed and deceived and diluted by it. The currency is your energy, and the wage of your soul is death. So where do you want your energy to go at the end of your life? And as a teacher, it is your responsibility. It is your responsibility to make sure that you are connecting with a clear conscious energy. Jesus is an ascended master. Why are we not all being taught to work from that space of everlasting love? Jesus is the only energy, the only ascended master who ever ascended death, lived life without judgment, without conviction, was the perfect depicted human in God's likeness. So whether you're Christian or religious or anything, as a spiritual teacher, why are you not working with just Jesus? Let your clients do their own explanations or explorations, but set that standard for them. I'm not leading you into a religion. I'm leading you into a connection for yourself through what I know to be true and what's sacred to me. And I will be damned if I move forward teaching people about goddesses and gods, spirit guides and deities, because all of them die out of chaos and destruction and death. None of them live beyond death. All of them are entities or even now demons in this life. So why are we leading our clients to connect with these? Doesn't that seem a little destructive, right? So this is the time for your rising. Whether you're learning or whether you're teaching, do so from a clear, conscious space and frame of mind. Because I promise you, your energy, your channel, your teachings, the magnetism in yourself will be so much more fulfilling and purposeful, because you know you're doing good work, God's work. And that's what I'm excited for you to explore and to ascend within, right? We're in an ascension journey, the global experience. And I want you to do so accordingly and cleanly and teach from that space. And that's where I channeled my latest program, The Magnetic Woman, for light leaders and healers, psychics and mediums, to bring you into the space of a clear conscious connection so that you can lead with clear, clean light channeled through your crown into your heart and magnetize your entire reality around you, to let go of all this judgment and doubt and disconnect that you have in your field, because it's not coming from clean energy like God. It's coming from persuasion, and chaos needs you to be in chaos to breed chaos. So let's clean all of that up. I'm going to teach you not only how to be held in a magnetic space, a sacred space. You're going to feel and experience that as you go through your own magnetic unveiling of self, but also learn how to hold a container channeled through you, through your creator experience for your clients as well. Standards, policies, procedures, these things are so important, because I know you genuinely want to help heal people. You want to help lift the world's consciousness, whether you're doing that as your statement or you're doing that energetically. That's what you're doing. So let's do so through a pure conscious connection. All right. The Magnetic Woman starts August 10th. I was going to say January, August 10th. The link is in my show notes. It's a 3-week accelerator. There's 2 calls a week. There's merch for you to bring into your reality. And if you go all in, you get the magnetic mug shipped to you as a bonus for paying in full. I want you to know that this work is so important, and you doing this work is so important. You not trusting yourself is not because you can't trust yourself. It's because the foundation of your energy is plugged into something not of God. So let's do this together, cleanly, cleanly, connective, in love, lifting the hearts and minds of the world, lifting the veil to the lies, and showing the devil that we've got more than just persuasion and manipulation within us. We've got love in our hearts and in our minds, and that's what's changing the world, right? I love you. I would love to hear about your takeaways from today. This was hopefully a thought-provoking experience that you joined me in, and I am sending you so much love.